Welcome everyone. Today we're going to look at creating a quiz or a question set module using H5P on WordPress. So this is one of the best modules on H5P, and all it really does is it brings other modules together into one big activity with connected scores. So it really is a great way to display other modules, to create big tests, quizzes, or activities that you want to present all in one place. For example, I've got a quiz here with 7 questions and 7 different types of questions. That is what's great about this. So first question, mark the 5 verbs in this story or in this paragraph. So let's see, we'll sweep it away. So I've picked my 5 verbs. I go to the next question. How many cherries are in the picture? 7 cherries. So this module by default shows you the score after you select the option, but you see that other modules don't. So drag and drop, Egypt, France, go to the next question, fill in the missing words. The moon comes out at night, the sun comes out in the morning. Go to the next question. I don't want to read all of these, but this is drag and drop text. I hope at least I got one correct. And then you've got just a true or false with a picture. This animal is a horse, sure. And finally an essay question. So these are all the different types of questions you can have. And this last question is an essay question out of 100. I say check my essay. So it's checked my essay. It's giving me 0 out of 100 for the essay, but I've got some points from the other questions. So once I'm done, I say I'm finished, and it shows me my score by combining all of the modules together, all the questions together, and having a total score of 12 out of 118. So 100 was for the essay and the 18 points were for the other different types of questions. And it tells me that I got an F. I set this up as a criteria. And then I got show me solutions or go back and retry. And this will be recorded, and in your back end you can go and check the score for this module. So it will show me that I got 12 out of 18. So let's take a look at how we can create a quiz or a question set using H5P on WordPress. Let's take a look. Creating a quiz or a question set using H5P on WordPress. So what you want to do is you want to go to add new in your H5P content module to add a new module. And what we're looking for is the quiz, or also the question set. That's what it's called. If you don't have this module, you can click on get, and once you do get it, install it, you can click on it to start creating a question set. So the first thing you do is you give it a name. We'll just call this one a quiz, and we have a quiz introduction. So the quiz introduction could be a background image. We can add a background image to the quiz introduction. Maybe we just choose a random image here. I've got a random image. And the progress indicator that is going from one question to the next. Do you want it to be text or just dots that you can click on to navigate between questions? We'll try both of them out. And we also have the passing percentage. So what percent do you need to pass this quiz? We'll leave it at 50%. So if you get less, you fail. If you get more, you pass. Okay, so here we can add, in the next section, we can add our questions. So we have question 1 here. We can delete. We don't have any questions. We can add questions here, as many questions as we want. And so we have one question here, and you choose the question type. So you've got 7 different question types that you can add to this quiz. And you can paste questions in from existing modules. So if you have existing multiple choice, drag and drop, fill in the blank modules, you can just directly paste the questions into here. Up here you have the you have default and you have textual. That is how you want to add your questions. How do you want to set up your module? So for the default, you get this display, this interface to add your questions. Just basically click. You can also add text if you know the syntax for adding texts. For example, what number is pi? You have 2 choices. So this is a multiple choice, and then the correct choice has an asterisk before it. Same with this. What is 4 times 0? You have 3 options, and 0 is the right answer. So you can add, if you just take this and paste it back here. So all I did was take the question from here and pasted it back here. And if I go back to default, you can see that this question that I wrote, what is pi, should be here. So it's automatically here now. It's what is pi, and you've got 2 options, and the first option is the correct answer. It has the correct check mark. So in this way you can write your questions anywhere you want using Microsoft Word or Notepad or Excel, and then you can just come and paste them here all at once. So for example, here if I say this is question number 2, and we'll just say what is pi times 2. I don't know what pi times 2 is, but we'll just say 6.28. I guess that's correct. So I have 2 questions now. If I go back to default, I have 2 questions. First one is what is pi? Number 2, what is pi times 2? And I have the correct answer. So you can add it through text, and there is a syntax for each one of these type of questions. Fill in the blanks, mark the words. It's similar syntax. You can just look them up. They're used, I believe, with Blackboard as well, and Moodle. You can use that syntax, but what we're doing is kind of different. So I'm gonna delete these questions. What I'm gonna do is I've already made tutorials for all of these question types. So what I will do is I will copy them from the existing modules that I've created, the existing questions that I've set up, and I'll just paste them here. That is what I will do. So let's see. Up here I've got tabs of all the different content type that this module accepts. So for example, mark the words. I've created a mark the word question before. So all I do is I can copy this question, come back to my quiz module, and for question number 1, I can just, instead of choosing the content type, I can just say paste, and that should paste in mark the words and the question that I have. The Smurfs built a beautiful home. So this is exactly like this question that I've made for a previous tutorial. So I have my first question here already, and the behavior settings are here, and the behavior settings here are only for question number 1. They're only for question number 1. So if you change them, the changes will only affect question number 1. We do have some settings here. This is for the overall module. We will look at them after we set up our questions. So that is question number 1. I can add as many questions as I want. So let's see, add question number 2. Question number 2, I have a multiple choice that I've made before. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna copy this. I'll come back. This is question 2. I will paste it. So I have a multiple choice. It's got a title and how many cherries are in the picture, 3, 4, 5, or 7. It's got 4 options, and it's got behavioral settings as well. I won't touch that. Question number 3, drag and drop. This is the drag and drop that I've created before. I copy it, come back here, paste it. I've got it here already. Number 4. So just to be clear, if I wanted to create a multiple choice, you can create it here now using this interface. You don't have to use the textual, but the default way of creating questions still is accessible, but I won't do that. So after drag and drop, I have fill in the blanks, add a new question, paste that in here, add another question that is drag and drop with images. I copy that, paste here. And it's got drag and drops about days of the week, if I can remember, or maybe making correct sentences. Question number 6, true or false. I copy my module, I come here, I paste it. Question number 7, the last one, essay question. I copy it, come back here, I paste it, and I've got my essay question. So I've got 7 different questions, and they're all here. They all have their own behavioral settings, and they're all different types of content. So once I have my questions, my 7 different questions, I can come here to the we'll call these global settings. These settings will affect all of these questions. They will affect all 7 questions. So the first one is disable backward navigation. So if I do check this, then the user, once they answer a question and move on to the next question, they can't go back. So if they move on and decide to come back to fix a mistake that they made, they can't navigate backwards. So I won't disable that. I like users to go back and forth as they wish, but you could, your use case could call for disabling backward navigation. Very possible. The second option is to randomize questions. So instead of being in this order from 1 to 7, they will be shown randomly. So number 7 could be number 3 and so on, just randomized. I don't need that. And finally, number of questions to be shown. So number of questions to be shown, so I have 7. So if I say 4, say I put 4 here, 4 questions will be chosen to be shown on the quiz. And they will be random. So 4 random questions will be chosen and displayed to the user. So it's good if you have, maybe you create a bank of questions. Say you create 200 questions, you put them in here, but you only display 30 for the quiz. That way, not every user gets the same questions, and if a user decides to redo the quiz, they don't get the same questions, because they'll get maybe different 30 or maybe a few different ones from the question bank. But for me, I will leave that empty because I want all 7 to show. It's a small quiz. And finished, once they're finished, display results, display solution button. So display results, show them the results for their quiz. Display solution, they can click on that and see their solutions for the solutions for the questions that they answered if they got them wrong. Display retry button, give them the chance to retry. And no result message. Feedback. There's nothing else. Overall feedback, talked about this before. So adding ranges for your feedback. So for example, we said 50% is a pass. From 0 to 25, that is a bad fail. From 26 to 50, you can stay study more. 51 to 100, you can say pass. So we've got 3 criterias here. Or if you want to do the traditional F, C, B, and A, that works as well. So from 0 to 50, that is an F. From 51 to 60, let's say 65 here, and then 66 to 80, and then from 81 to 100, that's an A. That's a criteria. So now the user will be shown this feedback. You can write a sentence or something more meaningful than just to give a letter grade, and they will be shown the grade based on these distributions or criterias. Solution button label, it will just say show solutions, or we can change that, show me the solutions. That will change. Retry. Display video before quiz results. There is no video, so I'm not sure what video they will, oh, right here, sorry. So pass video, fail video. You can add videos, so display video before quiz results. So this video will be displayed if they pass. This video will be displayed if they fail. You can add your own video here. You can use a local video or maybe a YouTube video. Just put the link in here. Maybe something happy if they pass, something more sad if they fail, and that will be displayed. And this one enables skip video button, so it will skip this video if this is checked. So we're not adding any videos, but you get the idea. The next part here is settings for check, show solution, and retry. This is an important section here. So show check button, I'll leave that checked for now, but we will come back to it. This one is override show solution button. And this determines if the show solution button will be shown for all questions. So you know how we came back here and I copied all of my questions and pasted them from different modules? I didn't really look at the behavioral settings for all of them. I don't know if they all have the same settings because I made them such a long time ago. So this option right here is a global setting. So if I check show solution enabled, it will override the behavioral settings for all of these questions, and they will all follow this rule now to show check button. To show solution button. So all of the questions will have a show solution button. Override retry button. So if I enable that, all of the questions will have a retry button. We will test this out after we take our first look at our finished module. And finally, text override is just overriding the default text, the prompts, the instructions for all of the questions, all the question types. or you can change the language itself. So for example, for a question set, when there's a back button, it says previous question by default, but you can change it. You can say last visited question. That will take you back. That will just override the default label. Not much to it here. So let's go up and let's see what our quiz looks like. I don't want to display a toolbar here. So I'm going to create. Okay, so this is my quiz. This is my quiz. It's got a background. I put a background image. I can see now it's not the greatest thing to do because it's all cut off. So I'll remove that background image. But my first question that I put was mark the words. And it says mark the 5 verbs in the paragraph. So I have to find the 5 verbs in the paragraph. So built, used, brought, told, sweep it away. So I've got five answers here. And you see the button here that says check. So I can check, and I got 5 out of 5. Next, how many cherries are in the picture? 7 cherries. So automatically it tells me I got it because this is a single choice. I go to the next question. So these dots here at the bottom is what we chose first. It asked us if we wanted dots or text to move between questions. These are the dots that they were asking about. Not very visible because of the background. So now I've got my drag and drop. Got Italy, France, Egypt, check. I got 3 out of 3. The moon comes out at night. The sun comes out in the morning. So if I move without checking, so I moved without checking. This is the fill in the blanks. I didn't check. We'll see what happens. Oh, I can't bother with this. I'm just gonna put my answers here and I'm gonna check. I got 0 out of 6. True or false? This animal in the picture is a horse. It's true. Check. I got it correct. I think I got one more question here, and I have to put in at least, I think, 1,000 characters. And check my essay. It tells me I got 1 out of 100 on the essay, and now I'm finished. And it tells me this is what my score is out of 118. So 118 marks, 118 points out of 12 out of 118 points. So the 118, that's how many points are in all of the questions, in all of the modules. So the essay alone was 100, and the rest added together are 18. It tells me my grade F. That's the criteria that I've set. I have my show me the solutions and the retry. Show me the solution, it will go back and it will show me all of the solutions. And the retry will get me to retry. So let's go back and change a few things. There are a few things that I don't like about the way this displayed. So the first thing was the background. I didn't like what the background looked like. I'm gonna get rid of the background. That's good. The dots, I'm gonna change it to textual to see what that looks like. Also, what I want to do is show check buttons. I don't like that you have to check your answers after each question. It doesn't feel like a full quiz. It feels like different pieces being glued together to make a quiz. So what this will do is you just answer and move on to the next question. You don't know your score until you get to the end. I think that is basically it. I'm gonna update. Should feel a little bit better now. Okay, so now we have text that says question 1 out of 7 questions. So I put my answers here. I don't have retry, I don't have check, I don't have show solutions. So I just answer the question and then I move to the next one. This one I can't really do it because the module is set like that. That's how it's set. When you put your answer, it automatically calculates. There is no check. But for the next one, France, Italy, Egypt. So I answer and then I move on. I don't need to check. At night and morning. Next. I don't know. Next. True. Next. And the last one. I have to just paste as much as... Okay. This one I have to check my essay. And when I'm done, I say finish. So I finish and it tells me I got 7 out of 118. I go to my results. I can see the results here. It says score is 7 out of 118. Time spent 112. Let me go back. This is my quiz. There isn't much more to it, but it is very useful. So you can have maybe 10 different multiple choice questions. You put them all in here and the user goes in, they answer all 10 and they get the results at the end. So you can actually create very useful quizzes or activities using this module. It puts all of the questions and the scores together and it shows you the results. To get this onto your website, what you need to do is you need to copy this shortcode. So you copy the shortcode and you put it in a new post or on a new page. So for a post, what you do is you go to add new post. Give this post a title, call it number 43, and just call it a quiz. And you want to add a shortcode block, very important. You need to put your shortcode in a shortcode block. You can't just put it in a normal paragraph block. If you just did this and you pasted your shortcode here, it'll just show the shortcode. It won't be interpreted by WordPress. Okay, so once you do that, you publish, and then you view post. And here is your quiz. And it's got all of the questions in here. My essay, need at least 1,000 characters, but that's what it looks like. So like I said, it's a useful module. One thing that I always wanted it to have, but it never did, is to be able to display all questions at once. I'm not really a big fan of moving forward with the questions by clicking on next. I like to have all of the questions displayed at once. It's easier to have things like a text and questions about the text or pictures and stuff like that, and it feels more like a quiz rather than moving or navigating through the questions. And as you can see, depending on the length of the module, the height of the module, it does the overall height of this activity does change. So a few shortcomings, but overall it's very useful, very good, and it's trackable. You can track the score, which is great, and the score is added from all of the questions. All right, if you have any questions, if you have used this module in more interesting ways, please let me know. Show me what you've created. Maybe we can get a discussion going. If you want to see how I created the other modules that I have imported or pasted in, you can take a look in the description. I have a link to all of the tutorials that I've made. Other than that, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.